Hey, we're in New York City, one of my favorite places in the world to be. One of those reasons is because of all the Spanish that I hear. We were just in Spanish Harlem and it was everywhere. But I have to say, when I hear the language, at times I feel a little bit like the stuff from my past creeps up, and at times I felt uncomfortable with my own ability to speak Spanish. I'd like to introduce you to two of my favorite subjects in the entire Project Enya history. And the first one is Lupe Montes Hurt, and the second one is Charles Carpenter. They both have a very unique language story to share with you. Hope you love these videos, and let me know what you think in the comments below.
I think the one instance when I realized I was just a little different than the Carlas and the Sandys of the world was growing up, we always wanted a dog. And that was because that was the normal pet to have. You would go to a friend's house and they'd have the fish or the cat or the dog. At our household, we had chickens and we had a rooster. And that was our pets. My mom is from León, Guanajuato, and my dad is from a small town outside of Guadalajara called Huachinango. Our household was a very traditional Mexican household. We spoke Spanish at home because that was what we needed to do, and my parents wouldn't have it any other way. So I didn't speak English until I went to kindergarten, actually. So I was enrolled in an ESL class, and I was considered a foreigner. There is nothing more fulfilling for me personally than when I can help translate for someone. Whether it is a woman who you can vividly see is struggling to speak English, and the cashier perhaps at the store is giving her this like, oh my gosh, can you hurry up, woman? What do you want? You hate it when you're that person that people don't understand. I hate it, and I think it's one of those where you look at them and you're like, they're not stupid. You know, they're people too, but people oftentimes will like dismiss them and kind of, you know, almost sweep them under the carpet because they feel like, hey, you can't communicate with me, so I shouldn't even waste my time on you, and that's not right. All right, now my freaking makeup's messed up, so I don't know if I want to continue anymore. Thank you. I think that's it. Yeah.
We were at camp, and like summer camp, and my counselor was like, oh, are you adopted, Mia? And I was like, no. And she's like, really?
Because she has like a different skin color, like it's a little bit darker, so people are like, which one of you is adopted?
Like, even though I guess I kind of look like it, I'm not completely Hispanic, so I don't see the point in putting it down.
Well, I mean, I just think it's like part of our culture, and like I don't see why you would not want to be proud of it.
I mean, yeah, Mia all of her life has known one reality of what, you know, our family makeup is. And there's been like this mysterious kind of hidden part. I mean, it's very obvious when you meet Abuelita. I mean, she's not like your other grandma at all.
No.
And so there's this whole aspect of discovering and kind of connecting back with that and finding out what that is. My mother is from El Salvador, and my father is from Granger, Washington. And I was born in the city of Toppenish, which is actually an Indian reservation in Washington State. My mom and dad divorced early. I was 5. So just the way that all panned out, I was raised with my dad. The carpenter side of the family is very family oriented. But my sister and I would stick out because we were the only ones in this Anglo family that had melanin in us, so we were brown. And I even remember stories about when I was born, and the nurses, they thought I was a cute little baby, but they called me Charlie Brown because I was different in that regard from the other carpenters. In El Salvador, common street food is the pupusas with curtido. And that is just something that my dad we had. The smell and the food and the people was very comforting and familiar. And so it was kind of cool that I always had that kind of touchstone with my culture. It was the one thing I had that I felt like I could connect with. What breaks the spell is the minute that people naturally, they see me and they start engaging with me in Spanish and I can't talk back. And it's a very frustrating thing. And it's frustrating for 2 reasons. One, I'm a little disappointed in myself that I can't talk back. So I feel like I'm letting myself down a little bit. And then the other thing is the look on the faces of the people engaging me. They're like, why don't you know Spanish? You look like you should know this.